Hello and welcome to the Joe Ligato Show. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Ligato, and today we're going to be talking about the propaganda war side of the Judeo-Islamic War of 2023. And we see here a post from the Middle East Observer from Yocheved Lifshitz, who was released from Gaza yesterday. And this was one of the Israelis that was held captive by Hamas. And so you would expect that they would be unhappy about being held captive. And so they say, though, that when they arrived in Gaza, they told us at first that they believed in the Quran and that they would not harm us. They said they would treat us as they treated those around them. We were under heavy guard. A paramedic and a doctor also came and made sure that we always had the medicines we took. They were very interested in the health aspect, and we had a doctor attached to us. He came every 2 or 3 days to see what was happening with us. They took responsibility and made sure to bring medicine. And if there were no identical medicines, they would give equivalent medicines. They were very kind and made sure that we ate well. We ate the same food as them. We were treated well. They paid attention to every detail. They had women with us who knew the meaning of feminine hygiene, and they made sure we had everything. Hamas had planned everything a long time ago. They prepared everything we needed, including shampoo and conditioner. The lack of efficiency of the army and Shin Bet hurt us a lot. We were made scapegoats for the government. Okay? And so we could see here that this hostage, at the very least, and I have another piece from another hostage, seem to be talking as if Hamas is treating hostages very humanely. There are many thousands of Palestinians who are treated very inhumanely by the Israeli military. And this should be very concerning to people that America is supporting a group that is essentially torturing the prisoners of war and any various people that are taken hostage without actually committing crimes, which does happen very frequently. If you know anything about the area, Palestinians are picked up all the time and are held without cause and are tortured. Here we see another woman, though, who was also held hostage by Hamas, who was captured voluntarily, insisted. Okay, so they're saying that she voluntarily said something, not that she was voluntarily captured. It's a little bit poorly worded there. This person shook their captor's hand. It's fairly clear why Israel has a policy of killing Israeli hostages, and that's been said a number of times. So this piece on the deaths in the kibbutz Be'eri, I don't know how to pronounce that. Electronic Intifada published a long article with Yasmin Porat, and feel free to look all this information up. You can watch the video she has out and everything. She described how she was held hostage by Palestinian militants in the kibbutz. According to her account, the kidnappers treated her and other hostages humanely, believing they would be allowed to retreat safely to Gaza due to the protection of the Israeli captives. Okay, so Hamas was banking on they would be able to conduct this attack, and by taking the hostages, they wouldn't be bombed by aircrafts. Little did they know how little Israel actually cared about the hostages. However, when the Israeli soldiers arrived, they eliminated everyone, including the hostages. There was very, very heavy crossfire. So Hamas is like, oh, these Israelis, they're going to be super humane. I mean, they hate us. They treat us poorly, inhumanely. But surely they would treat other Israelis humanely. No, they just massacred the hostages. That's some hostage negotiation technique that Israel has there. Her testimony is complemented by evidence from Israeli soldiers who described how the Israeli military shot tank shells into buildings where militants and their hostages were hiding. So Israel has no care, no concern whatsoever for the hostages. So you have to ask yourselves, given what we just saw, what these former hostages are saying about Hamas and what they're saying about Israel, and these are Israelis, why is it that the propaganda networks the various mainstream media outlets and even a lot of non-mainstream media outlets now, why are they so pro-Israel? Well, now we have a few polls by Kim Iverson, who is an expert in geopolitics, someone I highly admire. She's doing various polls to see what do people think about various elements of this ongoing conflict, at least the propaganda war side of it. So we see here, the first poll, the American mainstream media is largely, and there are three choices, pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, or balanced. And we see that over 80% say that the American mainstream media is pro-Israel. And considering I want to say this without being debanked and depersoned, but I mean, if you look at who is in charge of these various media outlets, which there's only 6 of them that control nearly all of the media and entertainment in the United States, of those 6, they are all, upper management is nearly entirely Zionist. I don't know how else to put it there, but that explains why 80% of mainstream media, or 80% of people who took this poll, which has over 7,000 participants, think that mainstream media is pro-Israel. Western mainstream media, other Western nations in Europe, Canada, etc., are largely, okay, so another poll. So this is on American versus, this is American versus other Western sources. They're also pro-Israel. Okay, so places like Europe, so Germany, United Kingdom, France, all of them, plus Canada, are largely pro-Israel as well. Okay, so we have a third poll. And that's what you can expect. So mainstream media is controlled by a few people who are devout Zionist. So exactly what you'd expect. The people on social media are largely pro-Palestine. Okay, so you have this decoupling here where the bigwigs, the elites of society, who control various propaganda arms of society, they are on one side of this war. And on the other side, the actual people tend to support Palestine. Then you see next one, so the elites, and I really do think there's a ton of overlap, and it makes complete sense that there's a ton of overlap between the mainstream media companies and who's in charge of that, who's deciding the direction, and the establishment elite. So people in government, people in other forms of business aside from media and entertainment, those are the elite. They are pro-Israel. Okay? In fact, they say in this poll that they're even more pro-Israel than mainstream media as a whole. And so you see, in a democracy, and that's what Western countries are supposed to be, in a democracy, you see the people believe one thing, the people are pro-Palestine, and your government, your media and entertainment, all of the people in charge of the major institutions within your society are doing the complete opposite, are supporting the complete opposite cause of what the people believe in. So you see how the West doesn't really have a democracy. If the people think one thing and the elites in charge think another, the elites in charge do what they want to do. And I actually saw this. I was doing a video on a research study, I think it was out of Stanford, on how if various groups want policy change, it is the economic elites, the oligarchs, that can actually get policy change. But if the average person, if the majority of average people believe in something, they cannot get policy change in the United States. Okay, so we know from these polls, we know from research studies, that the West is not democratic in any way, shape, or form. If the people disagree with the elites do what they want. That's not a democracy. And just to kind of reemphasize this, I come from academia, doctorate. I was in higher education for over a decade, 2 master's degrees, undergrad, various associate's degrees. I think I have like 4 or 5 of them. I mean, I was in school forever. And I can tell you that they are very pro-Israel. Like it's very emphasized. Israel is in charge. Israeli policy, you're just not allowed to question Israel in a lot of ways. But the people disagree with that. And so we see that all of our educational institutions, all of our other types of institutions, every organization in America is saying one thing, and the people are saying a different thing. And our foreign policy is based off of what the elites want, not what the people want. So that's not a democracy. Okay, I have a few other things I do want to go over here. I spent a little bit more time on that than I'd wanted, but I have 3 people here who I greatly admire their work. I think they're doing an excellent job, and they've been shadow banned, which is very upsetting to me. I thought that Elon Musk was different. I thought he was a very free speech absolutist. We see that S.L. Kanthan, he is a major geopolitics speaker from India, and you see his Substack here. I'd recommend you subscribe both to his Twitter channel and his Substack, but he has been shadow banned. It's very hard to see his post. It doesn't appear on your wall particularly easily. If you see replies, it's sometimes difficult to see that they're replying to him. They did a lot of wonky things to his account. And they did the same thing to Kevork. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I've watched a few of his videos. Very intelligent person. Syriana analysis, I believe is how it's pronounced. But he's a YouTube commentator. I'd encourage you to support his work as well. But he's been shadow banned as well. Just horrible, horrible stuff. These people are trying to get out the word about what's going on. And the interesting thing is, they've been disparaging of America before. But this is the first time I've seen them comment on Israel. And as soon as they commented on Israel, they were silenced. Angelo here is doing excellent work. Him and Brian Berletic work very closely together. I'd encourage you to support him by following him. I believe his channel, his YouTube channel was permanently demonetized, but you could still follow him on YouTube. I believe his channel is still up there. So please support these 3 people: S.L. Kanthan, Kevork, however you pronounce his Armenian last name, and Angelo Giuliano, who I'm assuming is Italian like me. And please support them because they are shadow banned. Various mainstream media and alternative media and social media outlets are trying to make sure that you can hear what these various intellectuals are thinking. And so I would strongly encourage you to listen to them because they're saying things that the elite don't want you to hear. Another thing worth mentioning on this channel in talking about the propaganda war was Palestine action. I saw this in real time, where this was not a bug. This was something that was happening across a number of accounts and various people, and it was all on one side. It was all people who were pro-Palestine who were facing these problems. But this account had a few thousand followers before. And whenever you would try to click the follow button, it would automatically unfollow you if you refreshed the page, or if you went back and came back to the page, or if you did anything, it removed your follow immediately. And so this page was not getting follows for the longest time. And it went around, it made the rounds across Twitter. And apparently, I guess it got back to Elon or something because this was fixed. And so they went from, I think it was like 8,000 followers to 204,000 followers overnight. But for the longest time, this was hidden. These types of mechanisms, which social media platforms say they don't use, it was hidden that they actually do take away your follows sometimes. They do shadow ban people they don't like, and they don't give you a reason for it either. So it's going to be tough. The people in control of all of the institutions are against us. They don't want to free Palestine. They want Palestine genocided. I would strongly encourage you to keep up with your activism to support Palestine against the Zionists who are suppressing all of these intellectuals. S.L. Kanthan, Kevork, Armenian last name guy, Angelo Giuliano, and Palestinian Action United States. So that is our video today. We are winning, I believe, the propaganda war, but it is a slog because they control the mechanisms of power. So thank you for watching. If you found this video to be informative, please give us a thumbs up on both YouTube and Rumble. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube and Rumble. We are trying to pivot as much as possible towards Rumble because YouTube is just not the free speech platform that we need in order to cover things honestly. And please leave us a comment in the comment box, questions, concerns, critiques, anything you want to say. Please let me know. I actually just got a critique of my one video because I sped up a video I was commenting on, and it made me think that maybe I should slow down those videos. So I do listen to your critiques and figure out ways to try to improve this channel. So thank you for leaving those comments as well, and thank you for watching our channel, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.